I was too young to remember when I was taken from my family. My first childhood memory was when my sister put a caterpillar down my pants and I was so scared that I wet myself. I knew what the punishment was. I was put in a cold bath, spanked, and had to walk around naked the rest of the day without clothes, because children who wet themselves did not deserve clothes. My mother was a survivor of a residential school. I tried to meet her a number of times when growing up, but she never could stay sober. Finally, when I was 16, I was able to leave the foster system and went to live with my mother. One of the first memories that I have of living with her was when she rolled a half-a-gallon bottle of wine towards me and said, "If you're LaRose, you can drink all of it. If you can't, you are not my daughter." I had never drank before, and I can't remember what happened after the first glass. By the time I was 20, I was a full alcoholic. I drank almost anything except the hard stuff. For the 30 years of my life included alcoholism, prostitution, fighting, jail, homelessness, institutions. I had children, and they were in and out of foster care because of my serious drinking. The same thing happened to them that happened to me with my own mother. When I was 55, I lost my partner, who I had been with for a number of years. I tried to kill myself with alcohol. I died 5 times in the hospital, and just before I moved to the Covenant Care Holy Cross Manor, I was told that I had cancer and liver disease, and I had 6 months to live. There was nothing more they could do for me. But those were fighting words. I realized that I had to take care of my own life and not let other people decide my fate like they had my whole life. But I didn't know how. I was in the hospital recovering. I met a number of great Aboriginal people who encouraged me to accept who I was and not to be ashamed of my culture like I had been taught my whole life. All of that happened 5 years ago. I am now cancer-free and my liver is back to normal. Every time I see my doctors, they ask me, "Jerry, how do you do it?" And I tell them, I pray every day to my Creator, and I'm doing my best to reconnect to my culture. It is really hard to explain my ways when I'm still learning my ways. I have started to smudge in the facility that I live in, but at first it was really hard to let them allow it on the property. I am hoping that fighting for things like this will make sure that other Aboriginal people do not have to fight to connect with their culture like I have my whole life. Today, as I look out my window at the buds on the trees, I feel like this is a new season for me. My kids have forgiven me for what had happened to them. They just tell me to do everything I can to be a good grandmother to their own children. It hurts me to think that I was ever ashamed of who I was, and I want to make sure no one else in my family ever feels that way.